Accountability in the nonprofit sector is often described as a cornerstone of legitimacy. Yet in practice, accountability is shaped by structural, operational, and ethical challenges that complicate both its design and its implementation. This article examines 5 critical domains of difficulty: power asymmetries between donors and beneficiaries, administrative burdens of reporting and compliance, ethical dilemmas between openness and confidentiality, sectoral differences in accountability expectations, and tensions between donor-driven and mission-driven priorities. Together, these challenges reveal that accountability is not merely a technical requirement. It is an ethical and political negotiation embedded in power relations and institutional constraints. Permes power asymmetries between donors and beneficiaries. Accountability frameworks are frequently shaped by donor requirements. Reporting formats, performance indicators, and project priorities are often defined externally, privileging upward accountability toward funders over downward accountability toward communities. In the Global South, funding dependency intensifies these asymmetries. Organizations may prioritize compliance-oriented practices that align with donor expectations, even when local needs suggest alternative priorities. This dynamic risks mission drift. Ensuring meaningful downward accountability requires participatory mechanisms that give beneficiaries genuine influence over decision-making. Without such mechanisms, accountability becomes unbalanced, reinforcing existing inequalities. 2. Administrative burdens and resource strain. Reporting, audits, and regulatory compliance impose significant administrative demands. For small and mid-sized NGOs, these demands can be especially burdensome. Limited staff capacity means that time spent on documentation reduces time available for service delivery. When bureaucracy becomes excessive, organizations may engage in ritual compliance. They focus on producing reports that satisfy formal requirements rather than cultivating substantive learning and reflection. Accountability systems must therefore balance rigor with feasibility. They should enhance organizational learning rather than generate administrative overload. 3. Ethical dilemmas, confidentiality, and openness. Transparency is widely promoted as a core accountability principle. However, nonprofit organizations, particularly humanitarian actors, frequently operate in sensitive contexts. Public disclosure may expose vulnerable populations to harm or compromise operational security. Open data initiatives may strengthen donor trust. At the same time, they can create risks for beneficiaries. Accountability frameworks must therefore incorporate ethical risk assessments. The central question is not only what should be disclosed, but to whom, in what form, and under which conditions. In some contexts, discretion may be more ethically responsible than full transparency. 4. Sectoral differences in accountability. Accountability challenges vary across organizational types. Humanitarian NGOs prioritize rapid response and resource deployment. Detailed reporting requirements may conflict with urgent operational needs. Advocacy organizations are accountable to networks, coalitions, and publics. Their legitimacy is often representational rather than service-based. Development NGOs frequently balance donor compliance with long-term community engagement, positioning them between these two poles. These distinctions demonstrate that uniform accountability standards cannot adequately reflect diverse missions and operating environments. Adaptive frameworks are necessary. Accountability must be tailored to sectoral realities rather than imposed as a one-size-fits-all model. 5. Donor-driven and mission-driven accountability. A persistent paradox in the nonprofit sector lies in the tension between donor-driven and mission-driven accountability. Organizations must satisfy donor reporting requirements while maintaining fidelity to their values and ethical commitments. Excessive emphasis on donor compliance can compromise autonomy and weaken alignment with community needs. At the same time, mission-driven accountability often lacks standardized metrics and may be undervalued by funders. Hybrid frameworks offer a possible resolution. Such frameworks integrate external compliance with internal ethical commitments. They safeguard both legitimacy and trust, recognizing that accountability must operate simultaneously upward and inward. Discussion. The challenges outlined here demonstrate that accountability is not merely procedural. It is shaped by power asymmetries, bureaucratic demands, confidentiality dilemmas, sectoral variation, and tensions between donor and mission priorities. These constraints can undermine effective practice, yet they also create opportunities for innovation. Proportional reporting models, participatory mechanisms, context-sensitive standards, and ethically grounded disclosure practices represent pathways toward more balanced systems. Addressing accountability challenges requires rethinking not only reporting processes, but also the relationships between organizations, funders, communities, and society. Conclusion. Accountability in nonprofit organizations cannot be reduced to compliance. It is a multidimensional and contested practice shaped by power, ethics, and context. By acknowledging donor dominance, administrative strain, confidentiality dilemmas, sectoral variation, and mission-donor tensions, organizations can design accountability systems that are both rigorous and adaptive. For scholars, this underscores the value of analyzing accountability through multiple dimensions. For practitioners, it highlights the necessity of hybrid models that integrate donor requirements with mission fidelity. Only such models can ensure that accountability strengthens, rather than undermines, organizational legitimacy and community trust.